Happy Thursday, everyone. It's Dr. Sarah Andreas here. And today we are continuing the series on being heard. Often I've heard people say that they don't feel like people are listening to them and they're having issues. So the first series recording that I did, we talked about the tone of voice and where you're speaking from in order to help people be able to hear you and really enjoy listening to you. Today, we're going to talk about the sales technique that's called 70-30, which may help you be heard more often. So I believe that most people fall into one of these two categories. So the first category is someone who is talking about 70% of the time when they're in a meeting or they are in a situation with other people. If you feel like you're not being heard and you're talking about 70%, you might be falling into the trap that you're talking too much. In sales, what they say is you should listen 70% of the time and talk only 30%. So if you're talking more than you're listening, maybe you're just talking too much and you actually need to step back, really think about what you're saying, make sure it's content that's adding value to the conversation, not just you talking because you'd like to talk. There are certain personality types that this is going to be very hard for because they love to talk. And I have a couple friends who are like this, so I know exactly what it is to be the person who absolutely loves to talk and loves to be the center of attention. However, sometimes, especially in professional meetings, being the center of attention doesn't really help you be heard. So if you are the person who loves to talk, practice being quiet and listening, and really, whenever you're going to say something, making sure that it's going to be something that adds value to the conversation, not just you talking to talk. Now, the other side, if you're somebody who is talking less than 30% of the time, so maybe you're only talking, 5 or 6% of the time because you're more quiet and you're more introverted. Here's a couple tips for you. One of the things that I think often happen is we process things differently. So, and we don't feel ready to talk because we haven't gathered up all the information. One of the best things that I found was to make sure that I get the agenda before the meeting. So that way I have time to think about and make notes about things and points that I want to make when we're having the meeting. If I don't do that, I don't feel as confident when I'm speaking. So if you are struggling with that, get the agendas, make notes, and then when you go into the meeting, make sure that you're talking and adding value with your thoughts and opinions on topics. So that's the challenge for each of you, depending on which group you fall into. If you're talking too much, be quiet. Only talk maybe one sentence every 15 sentences and see if it makes a difference on how people are listening to you. And then if you don't usually speak up in meetings because you feel insecure about the information you have, get the agenda ahead of time. Then when you have the agenda, make yourself notes and then make sure that you're putting your voice out in the meeting and adding value. I find that either way, you'll make a big difference in how you're perceived inside of the meeting. All right, you guys, good luck. Let me know if you use any of these techniques and if they work for you. We'll talk to you later.